I'm talking with Neil James from Panasonic at the Apex conference. And Neil, perhaps you can give our viewers some sense of how Panasonic sees the current state of art of the in-flight seatback technology.
The airlines today are really looking for solutions and not for just IFE systems. And what Panasonic is doing and what we're showcasing here at Apex is really having connectivity at the center of all of the business operations of the in-flight entertainment passenger experience. And we're trying to connect the passenger experience to the airline's bottom line, show what we do as a true value-added business. So the way that we're structured right now within the Apex booth that's downstairs is connectivity is central to everything, and we're making investments in connecting all of the various different applications and all the services that we have to the ground and to the airline's infrastructure. At the same time as investing in the passenger environment, everything they touch, feel, look at needs to be comfortable, provide living space, and provide a true home theater experience for the passenger. And then what we refer to as the experience, which is all the content, the applications, and everything that they interface with.
So if we go back like 2 years ago when we last spoke, it sounds like it's become much more complex, and connectivity is now no longer a nice thing to have, it becomes the core.
Absolutely. The next generation of systems that we're developing now, which will be in the kind of A350 timeframe, in the 2013 timeframe, will be what we refer to as just natively connected. Instead of taking connectivity and bolting it onto a system and putting a few interfaces into the system, we're actually designing a system from ground up to be natively connected. Every application, every piece of byte, every piece of core, everything you do is designed to be connected to the ground.
That obviously presupposes then that the airplane will be permanently connected as a node on the network.
Right. That's the intention. And Airbus have been quite clear that the A350 will deliver, its first deliveries will be with a broadband KU type installation, so we know the data pipe's going to be there. We know more and more airlines want to retrofit with broadband connectivity, and so in the time frame that the next generation systems are delivered, there will be a huge amount of aircraft connected with broadband.
So everything going forward in the cabin really is going to have to connect somehow to this network, meaning if people have their own devices, that too will be able to connect?
Right. Yeah, we see interoperation between people's personal devices and the IFE system. Downstairs we have some demonstrations where the passenger downloads an application from the airline's website or downloads it on board onto a smartphone, so an iPhone or an Android phone, and that application can control the seat. It can control all of the IFE, it can control the widgets, so the kind of personalization of your experience on board. You can exchange data with the system, so download destination guides or potentially applications that allow the passenger to sort of take their IFE experience with them off of the aircraft.
And would that kind of app be native to the smartphone for use on another flight? Is it a one-time download, or you download each time you fly?
It would be a one-time download, so it would be if you're a frequent flyer with Airline X, they would have their own version of that application, which is specific to how their system's configured and the seats that they operate, as an example. Passenger would go to the website and download it, or the airline might steer them towards a particular app store if they were leveraging somebody else's application store.
That's really a remarkable end-to-end kind of approach.
Yeah, and at the show this year we've announced that Panasonic's created its own app store. It's the first application store in the IFE space, and so what we're going to do is we're going to promote actively bringing some of the creativity and the sort of the dynamics of the open platform development environment that's out there today. So Panasonic will actually be providing access to resources for airlines who might want to get those kinds of applications created, or for content owners, advertisers, merchants who want to get an application created to advertise a product and allow it to be sold on board a Panasonic system. They can go there and get those apps created. And Panasonic's going to support that hopefully huge development environment of apps developers.
So with it's almost like an ecosystem you're speaking about.
Absolutely.
Really. Now you've mentioned the A350. What about other airplanes like the Boeing 787, the 747? How do they fit into your scheme?
Exactly, yeah, the A350 I guess is a catalyst because it's natively connected from day one, but our expectation is, and the expectation of our airline customers is that all aircraft going forward are going to need to have a form of broadband connectivity, and there's a lot of pressure being applied to those aircraft platforms that don't have connectivity embedded today. Now,
the interesting thing here is Bombardier has made the point that the C-Series will come out with like an electronic black box with telemetry. How does that fit into your thinking? Would your technology be able to go onto the Bombardier C-Series? Is there a role there?
We want to be able to provide a broadband data pipe that can be used for, our work is ostensibly in the cabin, but we know that there is a requirement or a push in the industry to be able to use a single large data pipe to get all forms of data on and off the aircraft. There's obviously regulatory issues associated with the types of data that are coming from the cockpit, but our approach is that we want to provide a mature broadband data pipe that can be used to assist all airline operations, regardless of whether it's cabin, cockpit, or anything else.
Are you able to say anything about the plans for Embraer? Because I've done an interview with Mauro Kern at Embraer, and he talked to me about the next airplane being a node on the network, what he called the intelligent airplane. Is that something that you're also able to support?
I think philosophically we support that across all OEMs, and even across business jets or any aircraft basically that can take advantage of being a node on a network. There's operational benefits, there's entertainment and cabin benefits, there's reliability and maintainability benefits. It's really a home run product, connectivity.
And are you focused on KU now and thinking about going to KA as you go down the road?
Yeah, we look at connectivity as a service, not a product. Panasonic has a global communications service, and that is a service. So the type of technology that's used, as far as we're concerned, has to migrate with the times. Today, we want to be able to offer a mature broadband solution to customers, and so we're working with KU. But if in the 2014-15 timeframe KA starts to become more popular, and the price gets to the point where it makes sense to do so, then our goal would be to be able to use the same radome, the same installation kit, everything on board the aircraft, and just change the antenna to either be a hybrid or a KA antenna. And the system is already designed to be able to cope with the different types of information flow that would come from the different types of antenna.
If you look forward in the evolution of technology, how long do you think the Panasonic, your basic philosophy right now, how long do you think you can go on down that road before you have to change the fundamental way of doing things, changing perhaps to different operating systems, like, for example, Android?
We intend to use Android. We're in the sort of R&D phase right now of changing to Android as a platform. It has huge benefits, not least what I just spoke about with regards to the number of people developing applications and things for it. But Google has invested an awful lot of money in building an intelligent application infrastructure and being able to manage the resources that an individual app can take up, being able to close down apps that are taking too much resource in the system. There's a tremendous amount of benefit to that, and that's why we're showing it in our booth here. We've taken our normal existing hardware, the Eco monitors, and running the Android platform on it, and showing how you can quickly create interesting designs for user interfaces, as well as just bring apps straight from the web and put them on board. So we're probably less than a couple of years away from being able to have that as a platform on board the aircraft.
Are you currently using Unix or Windows?
Linux.
Linux.
Yeah.
So going forward then, the Android platform is going to be able to provide you lots of leverage and flexibility?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For how long do you think that will go for?
How long will...
A decade?
Be a rich man if I could foresee that. We've been a long time with embedded systems, and they've offered a tremendous amount of benefit today, the kind of customized core that we have on top of Linux. We see that the next generation of platforms need to be open, but need to be, we refer to it as moderated. It's still an aircraft. It still has a tremendous amount of safety requirements and regulatory requirements. So we want to make sure that any platform that we have on board is able to be moderated from the perspective of who can get software on board, how it gets on, and ostensibly the tools that are used to create it. So if something comes along beyond Android that offers the sort of the next leap we went from today's systems to Android, something that offers the next leap, then we'll seriously investigate it and make sure we keep moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.